This show, interview, or program are not necessarily the views expressed by the ZNS Radio Network and by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. What's the secret of change? We don't fight the old. Instead, we focus on building the new. Welcome to the Table of Change. Come on in and have a seat at our table.
Good evening. It's another Tuesday night. I know I say the same thing every Tuesday. That's because I am so excited again. It's a great night. It's December 17th, 2024. And you guys, we are on Table of Change. You know what we do at this table? We try to tell the story as it is, but we tell it with hope to make a change. Tamara, where are you?
I am right here, just like you, excited for tonight's Table of Change. Another Tuesday, like you always say, right?
That's right.
Guess who we have coming to the table tonight, Jackie?
Oh, Tamara. I don't know if I want to guess. I don't know.
Let me give you some hints. Tonight on Table of Change, she is a medical technologist. She is certified from the American Society. She has a bachelor's in science from Barry University. She specialized in blood banking. She has over 25 years in the field of blood banking, and she's a supervisor at the blood bank. Here at Table of Change, we proudly welcome Jalna Bullard. Let's give her a round of applause.
Yay!
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. And good evening, Bahamas.
That's it.
Good evening. Now, Jalna, tonight, Jackie and I have a confession. Jackie, how many times have you ever given blood, Jackie?
Guess what? I did it a few times, and I always say, I'm too small to do it. I don't eat enough.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I personally have given blood, I think, twice in my entire life. So tonight, we were thinking of a way to give back. It's Christmas time. We have so much excuses of why we don't give back, because of maybe finances, because of maybe time. And then Jackie and I heard an announcement from the blood bank requesting blood. So tonight at Table of Change, we're bringing the issue in terms of donating blood to the table. But what we want to accomplish tonight is, if we have any type of myths about it, we want to dispel all the notions of, like how Jackie said about the weight and giving blood. We want to know, Jalna, is it going to hurt? We also want to know, where can we give blood, the location of where we can do it, the time of where we can do it. And we just want to get an overall picture, like a 2-year-old, to really explain to us, Jalna, about giving blood. So we are happy that you came on board the show, and we're going to jump right in with all dispelling all the myths. Jalna, welcome to Table of Change.
Thank you once again. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight. So we talk about myths. One of the things, I guess Jackie has mentioned one, I'm too small, but actually there is a weight that we allow, that is allowable for persons to donate blood, and that is 110 pounds. Once you're 110 pounds and over, you are good to go.
I'm good to go.
Good to go.
Blood coming.
Okay, so since we're starting with some of the myths about blood donation, sometimes people will feel that blood donation is going to make me sick. The body is a very resilient organism, right? So what happens is you're actually giving red blood cells and whole blood, which includes plasma and platelets. The body has a time frame when it actually reproduces those products. So red blood cells, it takes about 8 weeks, for those cells to be reproduced. And then platelets, they take about almost the same time. However, it doesn't affect you when you're donating once you are in a general healthy position. So meaning that your blood levels are acceptable. We have those criteria as well. for men and women in order to donate. So once you have passed that physical or medical criteria, you can donate, and then you do not have that side effect that persons may feel that I'm going to get sick. I'm not going to say that some persons have not gotten sick,
Right.
But the majority of persons. So, for example, we collect about 3,000 units a year. We don't have half of those persons getting sick. We may have maybe 10 to maybe 15 persons who may feel ill out of that number. So it is still a fairly safe procedure to do. Some persons may feel that, well, I'm taking certain medications, and so I cannot donate. In some situations, that is so. So if you're taking, as we would call, blood thinners or medication that may have to do with helping with your platelet production or antibiotics, then those will be medications where you would be deferred. Also insulin, right, for those persons who are diabetics. But if you are taking oral diabetic medication, you are able to donate blood.
Okay.
Right.
So let's would you say that we are in dying need of blood? Let me hear, where are we?
So you want to get to the crux of the matter.
Yes.
Right? So I would say that we have a constant need for blood, right? It becomes dire because we don't have that donation coming in, sustainable donation coming in that we would like to have. So we subscribe to the World Health Organization standards. We are a member state of that organization. And one of the things that we have tried to adopt is a volunteer, non-remunerated type of donation program. We have struggled with it because one of the practices, mindset of our population is that I'm not donating until my mother or my brother or a relative needs blood. We consider that a replacement. And persons say, but I give regularly, but you're coming to donate for a relative. And if a relative doesn't need it, then you're not coming to donate.
Right.
We want the population to understand that donation needs to be regular. What we consider regular, every 8 weeks you can donate blood.
Okay.
Every 8 weeks.
You know, what I want to say right on the heel of what you're saying, and I want my listening audience to really hear this, because I too had a friend who was in hospital. And Tamara, it's okay to share this because this is a great story and it's a true story. She was in hospital for about 4 months. Now, I don't know what caused her not to have the surgery the Tuesday since she got in. It could have been something different from blood. But last week, Tuesday, she was told that she would only get the surgery if she get the family to come in on that Monday to give the blood. And guess what, Miss Bullard? It was her birthday on that day. And she cried because the thing about it, she's in hospital now. It's difficult for her to get people to come in. And for someone who's in hospital to hear that news, it's really not a good thing for them to hear. And so, Tamara, Table of Change was contacted right away. And I heard the story and I said, no, something. I called my friend back, one of the sisters, and I said, wait a minute, something is missing from this story. Did you say they told her that or they told it to a family member? And I said, okay, let's get on the job tomorrow. It's a table of change action. And so I looked for the phone number, and I must say, Ms. Bullard, everything is not good. It was difficult getting the blood bank. Maybe we can work on getting you more lines so that it could be easier to get through to the blood bank. And my co-worker, mind you, we at work, but that was something pressing for us, and we said, there's no way this cannot be happening, not here in the Bahamas. And she got on the phone, and she looked up a number, and she tried, and she said, come, someone's on. And I spoke with them in a nice way, because I know the principles. Be kind, You get results when you're kind. And so tomorrow we spoke, and I was asking, what do I need to do to give blood? Where are you located? Because I'm thinking I have to come to the hospital. And then they said they close at 4:30. I said, but the time need to be extended. Maybe we need shift. We need to be more available to people so that do we have the vans? If we can have the vans that come around so that it would be more accessible to people to want to give.
Now, Jalna, we just had so many questions because when we got that call, I remember saying to Jackie, there's 3 sides to every story. My side, your side, and the truth, and then the gray area in the middle. And that's the main reason why we brought you on the show, because it's like all of these questions started going on in my mind and in Jackie's mind. And we're like, if we have these questions, Jalna, I'm sure the Bahamian public have these questions. So help us answer those questions.
Right. So one of the things that I heard was, I guess trying to get through to the blood bank. So the blood bank, we relocated from the main campus of the Princess Margaret Hospital in May of this year. We wanted to address the issue of parking. That was a major issue for our donors that came in. We are now located on First Terrace, just off Collins Avenue. So if you come off of Shirley Street and you're heading over Collins Avenue, it will be the first corner on the left. It's the same corner where the consul is located, where the Bahamas at Sunrise is taped. And we are the 3rd building on the right. It's a yellow and white building. So we've been there since May, and maybe some of the phone lines have been changed. So I'm not certain which numbers were being called, but you did have some success in getting through, so that's very helpful. But I can give those numbers as we go on later on, so that persons will be able to call in. So that is good. Now, in terms of accessibility and our operating hours, we are open from Monday to Fridays from 8 a.m. until about 4:30. We would take our last donor because there is a process to that donating blood, and we close at 5. On Saturdays, we are open. We open at 9 o'clock, and then we end at 3:30. In terms of taking donors.
On Saturdays?
Yes, on Saturdays.
Now, Ms. Bullard, I heard that you get a Vitamalt afterwards. Is that true?
Well, let me say a Triple B now. We have a new sponsor in the form of Triple B. They have come on board to help us with providing the needed refreshments after the donation. So those 2 things I heard. The other thing I heard you talk about a mobile. We don't have a unit per se, but we do go to our corporate Bahamas, many of them have been very faithful and committed for many years, where we would go in and collect blood and bring it back to the Princess Margaret Hospital blood bank. What we would like, though, is for persons to also use the facility that we have. You can come in, especially on a Saturday. We have a really nice parking lot in the back where you can probably come out. Mostly, I would, project this towards some of our lodge brothers. But they like to have their grill and so forth and whatever. So we're trying to invite persons to make it a friendly spot for you to come out on Saturdays and to bring a few persons in and donate blood at that time, so that we can also use those facilities. Other than that, we do come out and have a mobile unit and to collect blood on site at Corporate Bahamas. I want to recognize some of those persons too, because you have like Atlantis and Bahama. I've mentioned all of the Lodge Brothers, Scotiabank, Cable Bahamas, CG Atlantic, UB, Hope Church. We've also traveled to the Exomas and Abaco, Kiwanis, Life at Key School. So we have a number, and I cannot forget Rotary Club. They have every sector of their club. they participate in the blood donation process. And of course, ZNS has also been partners in blood donation.
Now, I think I might have misunderstood something. You said that you go to different locations, like I guess Atlantis and those places
So
to
we would-
collect it?
yes, we
so
do.
Do they draw the blood regularly, or you have to be set up there?
So we set up. We
you
actually
have
go
to
there.
that,
We
okay.
take our beds. We have mobile beds, a unit, not necessarily a van, but all of the components that we need to take blood. We would go ahead and pack those up, take them there, set up, and then we would bring the blood back to the blood bank.
But that's just on specific days when you say you're going to be there.
Well, we would make those arrangements.
Those arrangements.
Yes, like whether or not when they would want us to come in, when it's feasible for them to have their staff available to donate blood. So all of those arrangements are made prior to. And we have our communications department that assists us with booking those mobile blood arrangements.
Okay.
So, but one of the things, I just want to focus on in terms of persons understanding that there is a process for blood donation. If you were to come in, or even if we were to come to you and to collect blood. So in the first instance, we have like a registration program or process where you would need to have your ID. We prefer to have an NIB card. And that is how that unique identifier would use in our system for when donors come back to donate every 8 weeks. And then I'm trying to plug that in and not for just my family member or relative. So that's the first process that occurs. Once that is done, you would have a health check. So we make sure that your hemoglobin or blood is at a particular level. For example, females, we would want their hemoglobins to be no less than 12.5 grams per DL, right? And once you've passed that, we want to make sure that you don't have any colds or flus, say within the past 2 weeks. You're not on any antibiotics. Okay, you haven't had like a COVID vaccination because that's still ongoing. In the past 2 weeks, no major dental procedures in the past 2 weeks or 14 days, and that it's very important that before you actually donate, that you have a full meal, like at least an hour before, but no more than 4 hours.
Okay.
And that's a nice healthy meal. Not a cup of tea, as we would say. Yes, I ate this morning. Okay. One of the things that is included in the myth is about ear piercing and tattoos. So we do have a deferment of 12 months. If you were to get an ear pierce or tattoo today, and you were to come in, say, tomorrow to donate, we would defer you for 12 months, meaning you would not be eligible to donate until that 12-month period. Also for surgeries. So those are some of the things that I think persons like to kind of hear about before they come in. And I think I spoke about prescriptions, medications that are very important for you to tell persons, the relative screeners who are going to be there, what those may be. One of the things, too, part of that donation process is that you will have a questionnaire that you'll fill out just to mitigate some of the risks that we're not able to maybe catch otherwise. So, maybe about traveling or some risk behaviors that we need to know about in order to make sure that the blood is safe. That is our main objective, safety for the donor as well as safety for the recipient who will be receiving the blood, right?
Okay.
So, and then once you have passed that, then of course you will be placed on a nice reclining bed where you would then have the opportunity to donate a pint of blood.
Okay.
Okay.
Jalna, I'm
Yes,
thinking, sometimes I need a picture, I need a visual. In terms of the amount of blood that is needed to sustain the blood bank? Give us like a visual of how much you need, and on a regular basis, how much do you have, if that's possible?
Okay, I would say that we would give out maybe about 400 pints a month. So right now we only intake about 250, maybe to 300 pints in terms of donors. So you can kind of see that shortfall and why it appears to be an urgency for blood. Because, and I think that sometimes it's created because persons, if we are coming in regularly, if we come in every 8 weeks, then you'd have that sustained supply of blood. But only when I'm in a frantic and I am needing to, or somebody is coming to me and saying, I need you to help me to get a few pints of blood into the blood bank for a relative. Imagine now, this relative is in the hospital, and you may be coming 2 or 3 days later to donate this blood,
Right.
when they would have needed
Right
immediately when they were admitted to hospital.
Yes.
And reviewed by the physician. So, there needs to be a connect and a mindset that blood is not only necessary at the point when somebody comes to say they need it. It is needed always.
Let me
the
help
need
you.
for blood does not go on vacation.
Yes,
It's
Bahamas.
a daily need.
Bahamas, I'm going to just back her right now. The thing about it is that Tamara and Miss Bullard, we really don't know when is our time.
That is correct.
So because we don't know that, we need to keep it flowing. We need to keep the blood flowing because we can save lives. So, and the thing about it is that sometimes, yes, we have to use the blood for people who get shot, who's not doing the right things.
Well, I just wanted, I guess I would not say that it's not, that we don't use blood for those persons, but I need the understanding to be that on a daily basis, you have persons who are either in need because they are on a dialysis, they are renal patients, and in order to do the dialysis, they need the blood.
Yes, but
these are the greater needs that we
Yes.
see on a more daily and constant basis.
Right.
You have persons who are doing chemotherapy, and if their counts are not high enough, then the doctor is requesting a blood transfusion for them.
Right.
You have babies who are in neonatal intensive care who need these blood supplies in order to flourish and thrive, in order to grow, to become the acceptable size, in order to be released, in order to have a better quality of life.
Yes.
It's not only, it's a quality of life, and it's also actual saving lives.
And I want to finish my statement because I don't want it to, because I'm saying even those persons who need blood because of wrongdoing, but they're still our children. They're still from our community. And Tamara, we actually contribute to that because we would watch someone going down the wrong path from small. We would see, and we need to speak to these things. We can help. So what would we do? Sit back and say nothing? We are still responsible. We have people with sickle cell. They need the yes. And
Yes, they do.
So you know what I would start doing? I would start taking people's phone number, have a registry for people who come to give blood, and then just start calling them and say, "We need you today. Let's come give some blood."
We do that,
They do call.
We do that. But I guess the hardest thing is trying to change the mindset that I am saving my blood for my relative, and that is literally said. I am saving my blood for my child, for my mother, for my father.
But answer this for me.
That is the problem.
When my mother is sick and she needs my blood, she doesn't get the blood that I give, right?
That is correct.
So that's why we have to store it up, right, Tamara?
But how quickly does the blood replenish?
So as I said earlier, the red cells, they I think about 8 weeks. By 8 weeks, once you have donated, you are able to come back and to donate again. What we found in our statistics is that I think like last year and even up to this year, we had like 1,700 donors who were new time donors who will not donate again until there is a family emergency. And like I said, I feel that we create the emergency because we're not donating on a regular basis.
Yes.
So we are waiting for that need, which is required to be in place prior to it actually happening. So that is, if we can change the mindset of our Bahamian people, and blood donation should be voluntary. It is called a donation, but a lot of times persons are looking for an incentive to donate because it's my blood and I'm giving it to somebody else who I don't know.
And it's not your blood.
So, but that is
So
what
we
is
really have to change.
that is what is
We
is
really have to
felt.
change
That
it.
is a real conviction that we have in our society, and persons really live by that.
You know, the conversation tonight is going to change some people. You know why I say that? Because it's actually changing me. Because I don't volunteer blood right away. I tell you, I probably did it but once or twice. But I am going to start to give blood because I know that when you give, you shall receive. So come on, Bahamas.
Very simple principle.
Let's do it the right way because it works.
And I think too, what happens is that persons don't really see the people that benefit because they're more or less behind the scenes. So you don't get to see those persons that are really benefiting from the blood donation.
Right.
They don't meet them. It's different than maybe if it's a food bank and you're giving out food every week and you see those persons, you contact them, you build an emotional attachment to these, persons. But in the hospital, you come, the blood bank is in one area and the ward or is in another area. So
Right.
they don't ever get to meet, and there's not that attachment to what you're doing. So it's almost like an abstract kind of thing. But, I always ask the question, who's your neighbor? The Good Samaritan, he didn't know the gentleman or the man who was laying on the side of the road. He just helped him until he was healed.
That's right.
And, it's what extent we want to go to heal our nation.
Wow.
And that's how I look at it.
So just to remind our
We do
listening-
have one question.
Okay.
We do have one question for you coming in via the chat. And the question she has is, are there any risk involved in giving blood?
Okay, so I know some persons do have that fear that if I give blood, and I tried to speak to it earlier, that perhaps something may happen to me. But like I said, the body is very resilient. There have been like 3,000 persons within our population who donate blood every year, and they have gotten up from that donor bed, and some have come back without any side effects or anything. So 9 times out of 10, there will be no dizziness or any risk to you. Now, like I said before, there have been some persons who may feel a little dizzy afterwards, but we have very professional phlebotomists and personnel who would tend to them, and they are back as usual. And one of the things after the donation, we require that you have a lot of fluids, drink fluids afterwards. Ensure that you're not doing any strenuous activities, going to the gym, playing basketball, or doing anything of the sort, so that you would not overexert yourself after you would have given a pint of blood. That is the amount that you would normally give for a donation.
Tamara? I want you to, there's a number, Family Islands, I always love to let you know, a number that you can call, and it's 800-8255 and 325-5403 here in Nassau. And remember, you are on the Zoom link. We have here with us tonight Mrs. Bullard from the Blood Bank. So we will be going on a break, and we'll be right back with Table of Change.
Christmas is getting closer, and the savings even better at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Smoked picnic hams, $2.69 per pound. Dole pineapples, assorted 20 ounces, $2.39. Sea bass crab meat, 1 pound, $5.99. Muller's ready cut macaroni, 16 ounces, $2.09. Libby's whole kernel corn, 15 ounces, $1.49. Olivia vegetable cooking oil, 48 ounces, $4.99. Let's make it a December to remember. Happy holidays from Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC. It's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC. It's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
'Tis the season to purchase that special gift for your loved one or remodel your home. At We Buy You Sell, you can get hurricane impact windows and doors. We have a wide selection of beautiful steel doors, a wide variety of tiles in different designs and colors, and many other items in our hardware department to make it a happy and safe Christmas. Visit our showroom at number 163 Robinson Road or check the website at wbusbahamas.com. Give us a call, 698-1140. Happy holidays.
Trafficking in persons or human trafficking is defined as recruiting, transporting, transferring, harboring, and receiving of persons by means of threat or force, abduction, fraud, deception, abuse of power, and giving or receiving of payments or benefits with the aim of exploiting them. It is a criminal offense in the Bahamas that falls under the Trafficking in Persons Prevention and Suppression Act 2008. A person convicted of trafficking in persons can receive sentences ranging from 3 years to life in prison and fines of up to $15,000. If you think someone is a victim of this crime, call police emergency at 919 or Crime Stoppers at 328-8477. This message is being brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
We are back, Table of Change, and we're going to jump right into it. We have Miss Bullard here, and you know, our head host, Tamara, she's back on as well. So this question, can you tell me the different blood type and which blood type is required most of all?
So there are O positive and O negative blood types, A and B, positive and negative, and also we have AB, negative and positive blood types. The most popular or one that we see the most is the O positive blood type, and that blood type is one that a universal donor can give to all persons.
That's O?
Yes, O positive and O negative, but they can only receive O positive or O and O negative can only receive O negative. But O positive can receive O positive or O negative.
Okay.
All right, so that is the limitations. So those persons who are A or B positive or negative, they can receive O, but it would have to be respective to whether or not they are negative or positive. So they can receive the O positive if they are B negative or A negative.
Okay.
Right? But
That's
we
a
will
lot
not
to
give
remember.
them so many years of studying and
Yes.
working with it. It comes natural.
Yes.
I'd like to share with the Bahamian people that we have very qualified persons who have been doing this business for a long time. And we do our best, and we work really hard to ensure that the blood is safe.
Okay.
And what those processes are. We do follow in standards. We're not just making it up as we go.
Okay.
We follow standards, best practices, and in order to ensure that safety, So it's not something that we're making up.
Okay.
The question we had come via the chat, Jackie and Jalna, is if you were interested in working at the blood bank, what type of requirements is there? What courses should you take if you're interested in employment at the blood bank?
That's a very good question because we are looking for qualified persons as we speak.
Right. Very good.
But, the study of medical technology is a very specialized field. So requirements would be either a bachelor's degree in medical technology, where you would study some biology, chemistry classes, but your last probably year or 2 years would focus on medical technology. It is not something that is offered here in the Bahamas.
Okay.
So you would have to do those courses either in the United States or there's University of Technology in Jamaica, and there's some other schools around the world that allow that. One of the things as well is that we have a body here that register allied health workers, including medical technologists, and that is the Health Professions Council. So once you would have gotten your degree in medical technology, which is a 4-year degree, you would then apply to have your license and be registered with the Health Professions Council of the Bahamas. The license is renewable each year, and you won't be able to practice in laboratory science if you don't have the license.
Okay, so there we go. All of our scholars abroad, we are looking for someone here.
Yeah, so if you have a bachelor's degree, what we're finding is that a lot of Bahamians have a bachelor's degree in, we call non-specific, because medical technology, X-ray, physiology, physiotherapy, all of those are considered allied health. But we have students going off and studying just a pure biology degree. Those students are not qualified to work in medical technology because you have to do specific courses in medical technology in order to have that degree and the certification. We're requiring certification as well.
Do we need them to be able to stick properly? What about those bad sticks? Tell me about that.
So that's one arm of medical technology, and basically a phlebotomist. Medical technologist are personnel who we study the fields of hematology, microbiology, chemistry, serology, blood banking, transfusion medicine. We do learn parts of our course allow us to learn how to draw blood. Phlebotomists, I think that's maybe a 12-week course that you can do. You can learn to do phlebotomy, which is another kind of specialized field. You can do your certification in it as well. And you can also, many of the laboratories and hospitals do require phlebotomists to draw blood. But we call the phlebotomist the face of medical technology or the laboratory, but medical technologists are usually behind the scenes. We operate the very automated instrumentation and deal with those samples of getting the results that doctors need in order to make decisions. We always say 70% of the decisions that doctors make depend on those test results that we run and then give them to the doctors. So quality and accuracy is a hallmark in the laboratory.
Okay. I want to go back to the story that I was telling, the true story, and just close it out because when we called from Table of Change, it actually made a complete circle, which is what we look for. We don't look for anything that just went bad and stay bad. We try to just bring it to a complete circle where everybody is happy. And in that story, my friend, she did in the end, even without, after I spoke, even without me knowing, she called her sister and said, they're hooking me up now. They're giving me some blood now. And, they said, boy, what did you say, Jackie? Did you row them out? So I said, no, I just went on learning about what I need to do. And I just shared, and I was just nice. And the Lord just did the work. Next thing I know, on that Wednesday, she had the surgery. So I want to say thank you to the blood bank, to Princess Margaret Hospital, because you did it. We did the complete. And at Table of Change, we don't want to be afraid of saying anything that went bad. Because if people don't know the bad, they're not going to change and do good. So we have to be open to it. If it happened, let's just deal with it. What do you say about that?
I agree. I know that we have a lot of challenges with particularly social media. There's a frenzy when there is a shortage of blood. Persons go into a frenzy about talking about it in a negative light. I would want to send out a challenge and a call for action to basically begin saying, okay, there is a shortage. Is there something that I can do? Maybe I can go in and donate blood. Maybe I can ask a few of my friends to come in and donate blood in order to increase the numbers that are needed in order to save a life. And I think that is the type of behavior that we should see on social media and that we would appreciate. The shortage of blood is nothing new. It's worldwide. It happens. And the minute the authorities would call out and say, we need blood, the mindset is different in most places. Persons would just come. They have that understanding, that they would just come and donate. We need to get away from looking at it as so negative, but that there's a call for help. I can make a difference. I can change the situation. Let me go in and donate. And I just think that a mindset, and maybe we need to say it over and over and over again, that I cannot, as a professional, I cannot provide the blood that your relative needs unless you donate it. Yeah. There's nothing else I can do. Once you donate that blood, I will put all of my expertise into that blood to make it as safe as possible for your relative. But if it is not there, I cannot do anything.
Right.
And that is a very clear message that I think we all need to know, that we are all a part of this solution.
We're going to get it. Tamara, do you have anything to add to that?
Just as she's been waiting for a little while, and I really want to ask this question. The question that was sent in, it said, when blood is drawn, do the results detect communicable diseases right away? And also, what is the turnaround time in giving you donate the blood? What is the turnaround time in giving it to someone else?
So some of the processes that I didn't go through, that happens behind the scenes, and that's where a lot of expertise come in terms of what, our education and experience. So once the blood is donated today, we do testing on it. So we do testing for what we call transfusion transmittable diseases or infections. Okay. There is a list that we follow based on the AABB in the United States. And once those tests are negative, then we move the blood over into the transfusion medicine area. So that can take maybe about 24 hours, maybe 2 days, depending on whether or not we, need the blood. But we test every day. So I would say about 24 hours, we can have blood available. Okay. That testing is done. But it is done, and there is a procedure for that as well. Is there
Now,
another question?
we've covered a lot in terms of blood and the myths and the hours of donating. We also said that Monday through Friday, you can donate 8 a.m. to 4:30. On Saturday, you could donate 9 a.m. to, was that 3:30?
That is correct.
Okay. But the premise of the show, we need you to come in. We need the blood bank needs you. We need it's almost like our civic duty, people, to donate to the blood bank, because like today or tomorrow, we never know when it's going to be you. We never know when it's going to be me. But there is a constant supply. And I think one of the things that I learned, Jalna, is like you said, we always need to replenish in the blood bank. So let's not get excited when we hear the blood bank needs blood. You're always going to be in constant need of it. It's not from a lack of management of the blood, or it's not from a lack of need. So we need to kind of change our thinking in terms of giving the blood. Now, to the audience listening in, tonight will be the ending show until January for Table of Change. And Jalna, having you on the show, in terms of 2024, what is your message to the Bahamian people in terms of the blood bank? What you want to see happen new for 2025 and the blood bank?
Well, I would like to see more Bahamians just embrace blood donation and not to save it. I would like for them to be very open about blood donation and donating, being their brother's keepers, and knowing that they are actually saving lives, being impactful in someone's life and actually changing the course of someone's life. And it's very important because you don't know, these are all nation builders. Like I said, again, you don't see these people, but they are making changes in the Bahamas, but at this particular time, they need a pint of blood or two in order to improve their quality of life so that they can continue their journey and donation and contributions just like everyone else. And one day it may be you. So we must, embrace it differently. Donate a pint of blood, save a life. You can save 3 lives by donating 1 pint of blood.
Wow.
Yes, 3 lives.
Jackie, when we think about this being the last show for the year, we've had so many different people on the show and so many, topics that we've discussed and bringing to the table of change. But I think to everyone listening to the show right now, one of the most poignant messages that come to me from doing the show is people, let's listen with our hearts sometimes. When we talk about every time we have a show, somehow we have a little snippets of social media and how something was said and put out there and interpreted by people. But I think now, even in our homes, even on our jobs, with our families, we need to listen with our hearts. I think sometimes when we listen with our ears, we're getting confused and we're only listening to respond and to have a quick snapback. But let's now, for 2025, let's listen with our hearts, so hopefully we can listen to hear. We can listen with an ear to change, not just to respond, not just to have a snap back. And let's listen to take responsibility. Because, what I'm hearing tonight, Jalna, and I'm guilty of it, you give blood because you have someone that is in need of the blood, and then it becomes a priority. But if we make this almost a part of our civic duty and helping out the blood bank, and we listen to hear with our hearts, we know that there is a constant need. Because I've heard you say it, today it may be you, tomorrow it might be me, but this is a situation. And also what you rang out to me when you said about people on dialysis. That's very important. I think everyone knows someone that's battling with dialysis, and to know how important that is to have that blood and a constant supply of it. But Jackie, to wrap up 2024 Table of Change, what are you taking away from Table of Change?
I'm taking away from Table of Change. We're not just sitting at the table and just talking. We are actually taking it in, mixing it all up, and bringing it out for the change. And that is that's why I'm so excited every Tuesday I come here, because I'm just not sitting down tomorrow. Tomorrow, are you just sitting down?
Yeah.
I'm just ready now to make up a commercial right now for blood. Like, and then we could have this, on TikTok. We can do it right now. I'm ready tomorrow. So Table of Change has been really, really great for me. It has been, in my opinion, and the truth, it has been a God thing. It's not my show or tomorrow's show. It's the show of the Bahamian people that God wanted in this time. And it's not just going to change that people are going to give more blood. It's going to change in every area, because Table of Change is all about service. And people might think, what do you mean service? That can only be a short show. No, it's service in every area of your life. Service in church, service at ZNS, service at the food store, service at home with your husband. We need to learn how to give service to our children, because sometimes we think they're children forever. So there's so much to learn, and guess what? You're going to get a lot of it from Table of Change, and it will work. And then we have to change our minds, change the way we think, change the way we serve God, because that, you know what, the blood, that's actually where it is tomorrow. So tomorrow, that's what
life in the blood.
That's what I got from Table of Change, and there's more to get in the new year tomorrow.
The question just came in. Where is the blood bank located? I just want to make sure we say that again.
Okay, so our new home, it's no longer on the main campus of the Princess Margaret Hospital. We are on First Terrace off Collins Avenue. So if you were to come off of Shirley Street onto Collins Avenue, it is the first corner on the left. And then it is the third building, a yellow and white building on the right. So that is where we are now. Much more parking. And I would like to give the numbers.
Oh, great.
It's 502-7822. And then there's the regular 3222861, extension 7822.
Okay. I want to add something tomorrow, because I know things could go the wrong way. When I pointed out ZNS just now, because I've seen change at ZNS since I got here. And I saw change from the security at the booth. And that's what Table of Change is about. You know, when I go to different places, and if I had a bad service one time, when I go back, it's different. Because what do? I let them know what was not good. And I say it in a nice way, and they're all willing to change. So I was not bombing on ZNS. I just wanted to say this was one place that I can say from the day I started the show, I've seen great change. I'm not saying there's not any more room for improvement, but I've seen great change. So that's what Table of Change is about.
Jack, we're getting some random questions in. So, Jalna, please bear with me so I could just ask you the questions. And they're all over with the questions. They're excited about the topic, which is great. One of the questions is, what age can you donate?
Okay, very good.
That's great.
So
Great
you can
question.
start at 17 and 16 with parental consent.
Okay.
We go up to age 65, but in some countries you can go up further, up to 70. But we haven't gotten there yet. All of that is a process of change as well. But we will take up to 65.
And the next question is, have you ever seen someone give blood and they fainted?
I have. We've had some folks who have fainted. But again, as I've said earlier, we do have professional persons there who would bring them back to normal. And they do come again. Some of them come back. And then some are very shocked that I actually fainted. But it's all a part of donating. In life, you have intentions of doing good things, and it doesn't work out all the time. So don't let that be a deterrent that some have experienced fainting. But 90% of our donors have donated and have done well and have saved lives.
It's a question, but she kind of has it as a comment. She wanted to know, how did you deal with the stress of working in the blood bank during COVID time, when we weren't even sure what exactly COVID was and how infectious it is, and how did your department deal with that stress?
Well, first of all, we are human beings, and I won't, try to, I guess, belittle that there were fears. And I think that's where leadership comes in, where persons would get the right information and continually train and retrain. I think it has to be understood too that, when it came to wiping down surfaces and washing hands and doing that, we've been doing that all of our career lives. If you come to work or after you would have taken off gloves, we wear gloves every day. We wear lab jackets every day. So those things were not new to us. We did those things, but hearing of colleagues maybe being affected by COVID, it was a little shaking for some of us, and we just continued to reassure each other. We continued following the protocols of wearing our personal protective equipment, and we worked through it. It was a lot of encouragement, training, and we worked through all of those fairs, and we did well.
Jalna, I got it. I would say it bullet all night. What about, do you see us having like a blood bank in the family islands? I'm hoping that we could find a way, because we have people that come down and their friends and family are on the island. And we have flights there almost every day. Can we work around getting blood from the islands and bringing it down? Do you think that's possible?
But we've been doing that for years as well. So we've been to Exuma, we've been to Eleuthera, Andros. So there are several places that we have been, but there are logistical problems that we have with the movement of blood. We've been to Abaco even just this year, but there are logistical issues. So I will not say that. I would say that it's something that we do embrace, and we have included the family island as a part of our donor pool. But we'll have to look at how those logistics will impact our wanting to extend our reach in the future. But we have been there, and people are very aware of us. In Exuma, like I said, Abaco, Eleuthera, Andros, we've been those places. And we used to do like a yearly trip to those places.
Because I was thinking, if it can all come together, how you have back to the island or regattas and stuff. Whenever there's a crowd of person, if we can get along with lodges or some group that they can go on the islands during those time where they can get blood. So
Well, I can tell you, during regatta time or any festive time, persons are not thinking about blood donation.
Before
it will have to be a real mindset change.
Okay.
That persons come in and before we go to regatta, we're gonna go give a pint of blood. That is gonna have to be a real change of mindset. However, we do have the lodge on, say, the island of Exuma. We have the Rotary in Abaco. They are very vibrant, and we go there, and they are working along with us to have our blood donation process work as smoothly as possible. So I cannot say, I must give immense thanks to those groups of persons, the Rotary, the Lodge Brothers, Bahama, Atlantis. They call in and they want to make sure that they are booked their dates for the year. So they will do that, whether it's and they want to do it maybe twice a year and involve as many of their employees on the island. Like I said, the Rotary, they would, in Abaco, we went in August. We went to Hopetown. They took us to all of the keys, as many as we were able to. And it was a grand experience. In Exuma, the Lodge Brothers, every November, we head up. So.
And I think maybe you can say, because some of the blood that we get, all of it is not good. So you just can't go I sent 10 persons, because it doesn't necessarily say that it's all good, correct?
So we have persons with blood donation, there is a donor eligibility criteria that we use. So some persons that come in, their hemoglobin, remember I said earlier that females' hemoglobin should be at least 12.5. you have an instrument or machine that measures that. And if not, then you're not able to donate. And we realize that that is the major reason why persons are deferred or ineligible to donate.
Hey, it has been a great night. Tamara, do you want to close us out?
Man, it has been a great night, a great year. We will be back with Table of Change on January 7th, 2025. And, one of the things that Keva pointed out, who's one of our regular via chat, Jackie and Jalna, she said, change will not come unless we renew our minds daily.
Yes.
So I want to encourage you. We want to thank you for that, Keva. Renew our minds
I like
daily.
that, Keva. Thank you.
And renew your mind every Tuesday by coming to the Table of Change. We're not here just to belittle the problem. We're not here trying to berate the problem. We're trying to bring some solutions to the problem. Like today, working with the blood bank, encouraging each and every one of you to come on in and donate blood. Thank you so much on behalf of Table and Change, Jalna Bullard, myself, Tamara Fox-Smith,
Jacqueline Fernanda Moxie.
Thank you, ladies.
Until next year.
See you next year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Bye, guys.